Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Antonella, but most people call me Nella Bella or Bellanella, whichever one you like. I don't have a problem with that. So, excuse me. So this video is going to be a continuing of me talking about my church journey, how I got into church and all of that good stuff. All right, so trying to kind of piggyback on the last video, which was part one of me growing up in church and stuff like that. I think that's what it was. Don't mind me. All right, so once I found my church home, well, at the beginning, I didn't really commit to it, but I was invited to church by a group of friends, or actually a friend of mine that a coworker, we worked together, and that was one of my girlfriends, and she was attending that church with her boyfriend and now husband. And so they invited me to the church, and actually the church was just starting, just opened up or whatever, and I knew the two individual that started the ministry, and I knew them even before they started the church. I knew them individually before they even got together and got married. I knew them before, and I just heard about it at work that they started the church and everything, and they were inviting people to come or whatever. And so I went in, not, any thoughts or thinking of anything about it, but I just knew at the time of my life I was going through a rough patch. I had just to kind of give you a back end story of my mental state at the time. And I think I was in a bad relationship, or either in the relationship or I had a bad break, like the relationship was breaking apart, or we broke up or something like that. It was like a really bad, crazy relationship. So anyhow, that's another story, and I guess I'll talk about that another time. But anyways, I was just all over the place. I had gotten divorced completely at that time. I was divorced and just doing my own thing, things that I couldn't do when I was married. So I was kind of free and just out there partying and doing that. So just to kind of give you an idea of my state of mind and how I was back then. All right, so just fast forward. So when I went to the church, it was a really nice church. It was a smaller, intimate church, which I actually love because of the, I want to say like the intimacy, sorry. The intimacy and the close-knit of just being surrounded by people that you know versus, and nothing against mega churches, but for me, and like I mentioned in the other video, it's so easy to get lost in the pews. You come into church and you don't really see where you fit in, kind of thing. So it's just my intake on it. It's not yours. It may not be yours. I don't have a problem going to mega churches, but for me, I like to be in a close-knit type of church, more home, smaller, and if it grows from there, that's great. If it doesn't, it's not about the numbers anyways. It's about what you are getting, what you're being fed. All right, so we got that part out of the way. So anyways, fast forward to, so I was going to church. So I did go to church. I didn't really set in stone if that was the church I wanted to go to, but because people from my workplace were going there, I was just like, might as well. And I knew the pastors, both of them, and I seen them at work, so it was almost like, let me just go because I'm gonna see them on Monday, and so let me just show my face out of respect, kind of thing. I think that's how it was at the beginning, and so but again, I was not fully committed. I was going through living my life. I think my mindset also, as newly in the faith, I guess, I was just like a babe in Christ. I was thinking like some Christian now, or some people think now, you have to get your life together before you go to church, and not really thinking you go to church to get your life together, and you don't have to wait because if you have to wait, then you'll never get your life together, and it's kind of an excuse to not go to church. So you're giving yourself excuses of why you shouldn't go to church, and you need to get yourself together, you need to clean up your life, and not, they're just, it's just a whole misunderstanding of not understanding why church is there. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, so I was in and out of church here and there. I was single. I was divorced, like I said, and now single, but I was dating somebody or was with somebody, and it was a toxic relationship. And so anyways, when it really set a toll on me to actually really go to church is when I think with that relationship I was in, and that was right after my divorce. So that's already telling you that was a bad decision. So we had a really bad breakup. It was like very bad. I think that breakup was worse than my divorce, to be honest with you. And I think it took a toll on me. I was going through a very dark time in my life. Depression set in, creeped in. Unforgiveness was definitely in my heart. Around that time, I was bitter, very upset. I was just a total mess. Like, I just remember being a total mess. And I just remember, like, praying, you know. I know I didn't have a close relationship with God, but I know that I needed God. Like, I knew that I needed something to save my life, to save me from what I was going through. Only God. Like, we even went through counseling, like professional counseling, talking to people, family members, friends, and nothing was working. Like, nobody. And it was just like, I isolated myself. And it was, like I said, it was a whole bunch of darkness, a whole bunch of stuff going on in my life around that time. So that's all I can remember. And then I was praying God. I was like, God, I just don't know what to do. But I was like, please send me to the right place, the right church. Because at that time I was trying to find a home church near this area and where I live now. And it was just not happening. Just not happening for me. I was going out partying, having a good time of my life. Really not, but just kind of covering that. It's like wearing a mask. You know, have that, I don't want to say poker face, but it's like you're really hiding what you're really going through. And by, you're going out, doing all these things, drinking, partying, dating, doing all these stuff. And you just feeling empty in the inside. I was just trying to fill a void that only God could fill. It was just horrible. Living my life in sin. Just not caring. Just doing what I wanted to do. Okay? So anyways, I was definitely in a dark place, like I said. And when I started, like, going to church, I was like, okay, I'm going to make that step on actually starting to go to church. But it's going to be on my term. Like, I was, telling God that exact thing. I was like, God, it's going to be on my term. You're going to just have, it's going to take a little while for me. Like, I'm not a faithful church goer. And I don't know how these people are going to take me in. And they know me from work. And I don't want them to judge me. They know I'm living a life of sin. So it was all of that in my mind. And so when I first started going to church, like, trying to go, like, faithfully, I would go on Sundays. But the night before, I would be the partier. I was partying, like, going out and drinking. And I remember, like, a couple of times, but I remember one specific time that I must have had hangover. I don't know. But I was not feeling it. I was maybe drunk from the night before or whatever and not feeling good. But I managed to still go to church, and I went to church and I sat in my car, and I got there because I made it to church like on time, and I was shocked, and that was not my intention at all. But I went in, and actually I didn't go in yet. I was in the car and my head was down. And I'm like, okay, let me just wait it out. Like, and then I remember, I guess somebody must have seen me in my car, and then they noticed that I didn't go inside the church because, like I said, it was like a smaller church, so you'll notice who's coming in and out or who's not there. So the person actually came out and then knocked on my door, and he was like, are you okay? Are you coming in or whatever? Like, are you sure you need help? And I was like, oh gosh, like he saw me. So let me go in. So I went in the church, but I sat all the way in the back. I didn't want nobody to see me. I don't know why I was thinking that. But my pastors the pastor did see me, but I was all the way in the back. And I don't remember, before while they were praying to like dismiss everybody, I ran out. Like, I left. Like, I just didn't want to. I wanted to avoid. I think I was ashamed. I was ashamed. I just didn't want to deal with having to interact with anybody. And so I just left. So that was that. But when I went to work the next day, they didn't, the pastors didn't like judge me or anything. Like, they didn't like ask me like, what was wrong with you? Why you didn't stay? It was just never that. Like, it was just like, hi, how you doing? Are you okay? It was just always love. It was just like, well, just come next Sunday. Don't worry, we'll be waiting for you, kind of thing. It was just always like vague, but like, don't worry, just come next time. We'll be waiting for you, kind of thing. And so it was kind of like that thing ongoing. I would go here and there. And then, I would go like really messed up to church, y'all. Like, I can tell y'all this now because I've been delivered from it and I'm not that woman anymore. But man, your girl used to be, all messed up. So I used to wait. Like, I remember waiting. I used to go to church. I just wanted to show my face because, like I said, these people were people that I work with, but I wanted to show that I did make the attempt to go to church, even though I didn't stay in church. And I don't know, my intention is not to be in church, but I just wanted to show my face. So I would go in, or I would wait. Like, even if I got to church early, I would wait in my car. I would park my car a certain way for them to not even know that I was in the car. But I would wait till it's like 15 minutes before the church ended, and then I would go in. I would stay either in the lobby, or I would go in and I would be in the last seat, like close to the door, or just standing up, or near the security, or the what is called the booth. There was a DJ booth or whatever, the sound booth, not DJ, the sound booth, and I would just stay right there, like sit right there at that last seat. And then when it was over, I was gone. Like, I don't even remember trying to interact with anyone or try to hug or try to talk to nobody. My goal was to get up out of there. You saw my face. I said hello. And then when I see you on Monday the next day, you know that I went to church, kind of thing. So it was that. And then, so I think that was kind of my journey. I was just that type of person that would sit in the back. And as I was getting a little word here and there, I was like a little bit more curious about this God and who is this God and why these people are like not falling out, but like in the spirit or just feeling the spirit. What is this thing that they are experiencing that I'm not, because I need to know what's going on. So I got more and more interested. They invited me to Bible study where, in Bible study, that's where you really get the meat of it all. Or that's where you really get the that manna, that meat or whatever. I don't know how to explain it, but you know what I'm saying. It's like really, really where you get to ask questions and get some answers and stuff like that. And so I went to Bible study, and like Bible study was it was totally different. Like I said, you get to ask questions if you don't understand it, and it's more on a, you know, he's getting on your level. And I'm like, okay, this is not bad. This is not so bad. I mean, I grew up in church, so it was not like out of the ordinary for me to like, you know, be a church goer or whatever. It's not like something I never experienced before. I've been to church before. It's just that when I took that break, I guess, out of church, and then just being lost in the world and not knowing where I fit in, I think I kind of lost the whole meaning of, you know, why you should go to church or whatever. Why you should congregate yourself, assemble yourself with like-minded Christian and stuff like that. So anyways, so as I was getting fed, I started gradually moving towards the front. So it was like the back seat. Then I started moving up because, you know, for me, I get distracted from the person in front of me easily. I'm like a person, I have to like really, when I really set myself to listen to something, I need to sit in the front. But because of where I was spiritually and emotionally, I guess, I was still kind of shying away and just holding myself back. But as time went on and I felt myself getting healed, you know, little by little, and just a desire to be closer to God and reading my word and going back home and opening up my book, my Bible, and taking notes and just reading. And I was like, you know what? And I was filling myself with God, like filling my voids. And I was just feeling better about myself, who I was becoming. You know, it's still a journey, but it was just like, okay, you know, it's not so bad. Like, I can do this. I can do this. And then, you know, I started getting a closer relationship with my pastors and they became my spiritual parents. And now at this point, now it was like, okay, I was being held more accountable at certain things that I was doing and was not doing. And even though I still wasn't like a faithful goer, there was still time where I just didn't go to church or whatever, but I never felt judged. I never felt like they, you know, judged me or made me feel less than, or it was always where you're welcome, we miss you, where were you, like what's going on, you know, do you need help, you know, stuff like that. So then I got to the point where I was like really going forward with this. Like I was like, man, I'm really liking this church thing. And I started sitting in the front. I was like, you know what? Like this is really good. Like this word is really feeding my spirit. And man, I need a change in my life. So fast forward, a couple of my friends and I were like all in. We started, I invited one of my other girlfriend on New Year's Day. She invited her family. It was just like, you know, we started in the singing and the praise team to the dance ministry to like, we were all in. We were doing everything, it seems like, at the beginning. It was just, it was like the best thing. It was looking forward. And to the point where I was at church all the time. It seemed like I was at church every day after that. Like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's like we was at church all the time. So anyways, I'm just saying that to say that was kind of my story back in part 2 story of my church, being in church, how I got in, how I got started, and now I am a minister or a teacher. And so that's all I wanted to say for this particular video. I'm not going to go further, but yeah. So anything else, I pretty much make another video about it. But this is my church journey. If you want to share yours, you are welcome in the comments below. Again, thank you for watching. Bye.